Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. So this morning we are reading from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 70, and we will discuss verses 10 and 11. 10 doesn't have a purport, so we will chant verse 11 and then we'll read 10 and then 11. Atmanam, himself, Bhushayam asa, he decorated, Naraloka, of human society, Vibhushanam, the very ornament, Vasobhi, with clothes, Bhushanai, and jewelry, Swiyai, belonging to himself, Divya, divine, Shrak, with flower garlands, Anulepanai, and ointments. Atmanam bhushayamasa Naraloka vibhusanam Vasobhi bhushanai sviyer Divya shrag anulepanai. Atmanam bhushayamasa Naraloka vibhushanam Vasobhir bhushanai sviyer Divya shrag anulepanai. Atmanam bhushayamasa Naraloka vibhusanam Vasobhir bhushanai sviyer Divya shrag anulepanai. Atmanam bhushayamasa Naraloka vibhushanam Vasobhir bhushanai shriyer Divya shrag anulepanai. Atmanam bhushayamasa Naraloka vibhushanam Vasobhir bhushanai sviyen Divya shrag anulepanai. Atmanam bhushayamasa Naraloka vibhusanam Vasobhir bhushanai shriyer Divya shrag anulepanai. Matajis. Atmanam bhushayamasa Naraloka vibhushanam Vasobhir bhushanai sviyer Divya shrag anulepanai. Translation. He would decorate his body, the very ornament of human society, with his own special clothes and jewelry and with divine flower garlands and ointments. Purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. It's a short purport. Sridhar Swami points out that the Lord's own garments and ornaments include the Lord's well-known yellow garments, the Kaustuba gem, and so on. And then verse 10. Translation is, Lord Krishna would offer obeisances to the cows, brahmanas and demigods, his elders and spiritual masters, and all living beings, all of whom are expansions of his supreme personality. Then he would touch auspicious things. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamshcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahityam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Shesha Shunyavadi Pashtatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Ti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaye Kripavdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Nama Madhuryojvala Premadhyay Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virud Apa Siddhanta Dvantaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambar Sambodhe Padam Bhujayate Nama Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Gauravirbhava Bhumestvam Nirdesta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Nama Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishi Nama Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavatar Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Matergati Matsarvasya Padam Bhojau Radha Madana Mohanau Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadaha Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanastau Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prishtalibi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambi Vamshi Vatattatastitau Karshan Venu Swaner Gopi Gopinata Shri Estuna Taptakanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So seeking blessings from all the devotees to be able to do justice to Srimad Bhagavatam. We are discussing the daily activities of Lord Krishna. This is the 10th canto, Samam Bunam. It contains all the wonderful activities of Lord Krishna. These pastimes are done by the Lord to develop in our heart some attraction for Him, so that the attraction for things of this world will reduce. Like Srila Prabhupada says, to give up something, you have to get something higher. So the purpose of Krishna, as we have experienced with COVID, that He doesn't need to come to kill demoniac people. A tiny virus will do the job. A mosquito, one one of our brahmacharis down with dengue. A mosquito can give you so much of your prarabdha karma. But Krishna doesn't come to do all those things. Vinashaya cha dushkritam is secondary. The main thing is to develop this attraction in the hearts of all of us sadhakas. So we see here in this 10th canto many wonderful pastimes, superhuman pastimes, where Krishna shows that only God can do this, and I am doing it. So I am God. There is no doubt about it. Who can show the whole universe in their mouth, and then next minute make that person forget that she saw all that. Just to keep the Vatsalya bhav of Mother Yashoda, Krishna did that. He lifted Govardhan hill. He killed all these demons. These are all superhuman pastimes. That verse is there. Na cha matstani bhutani pashyame yogam aishwaryam. In the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna says, this is my aishwarya. That although I am involved and I am in everything and all these are my energies, but I am aloof from them. So, throughout all these chapters, Krishna is showing his yogam aishwaryam. But in this chapter, he is showing the ideals that even we can follow. We can't go around showing, when we open our mouth, only bad breath comes out. So we can't go doing all those things. But these things, getting up early in the morning, for householders, not being attached, getting up immediately, performing his morning rituals, these things Krishna is showing the example for everyone to follow. So in the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna says, Yad yad acharati shreshtas tattadeve tarojana sayat pramanam kurute lokas tad anuvartate. Whatever a great man does, common people will follow. Whatever example he sets, the world will pursue. So here Krishna is setting the example that this is how everyone is supposed. So like Lord Ram is Maryada Purush. In this chapter, there is Maryada followed by Krishna. So if someone wants to imitate, then these things we can imitate. In the 10th verse, so in the 11th verse, in the purport, Sridhar Swami is quoted as saying that these are the decorations on the body of the Lord. His yellow garments, his Kaustuba jewel. We read from Prabhupada's teachings that actually whatever comes on Krishna's body becomes enhanced by touching the body of the Lord. So the yellow dhoti becomes glorious because Krishna wore. The Kaustuba gem becomes so sought after because Krishna accepted it. So whatever is offered to the Lord, when we offer ourselves to the Lord, those things or those people who offer themselves in service to the Lord, they actually become beautiful and they become glorious because they attach themselves to Krishna. So it's not that Krishna's beauty is enhanced by the Kaustuba gem. It's the gem becomes precious because Krishna adored it. In the 10th verse, there is something wonderful that Krishna does. The 10th verse, if you can just put the translation of the 10th verse. It says, Lord Krishna would offer obeisances. Krishna would offer obeisances. Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Kamalochan Prabhu was saying recently that people say, Krishna bolte hain, don't keep pride and all. And then he's only saying in the Bhagavad-gita, offer obeisances to me. So, while Krishna is saying that for our purification, here Krishna himself is offering obeisances. To who? Lord Krishna would offer obeisances to the cows, brahmanas, and demigods, his elders, spiritual masters, and all living beings. So, Krishna is leading by example. That Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru, when I came, I also did. Like when Krishna came, he accepted Sandipani Muni as a spiritual master. He went to the Gurukul, telling everyone that you need to accept a spiritual master. So here he is offering obeisances. We read in Govardhan Lila, when Krishna confused Nan Baba. They were preparing for the Indra Puja. And Krishna came and he spoke that Indra is not giving you rain. You are working hard. You are producing these good karmas. Because of that, the rain is coming. What is Indra doing in that? वो तो आना ही है. Then he's saying rain comes in the ocean, on the mountains. So what's so special? What's Indra doing? And then, so there is this doubt created. Then what should we do? Let's worship Govardhan. Govardhan is giving us everything. Let's worship Govardhan. How? Krishna showed the example. First thing, Krishna bowed down to Giriraj. We say that, Namaste Girirajaya, Shri Govardhana Namine, Ashesha Klesha Nashaya, Paramananda Daine. So Krishna is showing, he himself took the form of Giriraj and Krishna is offering obeisances. Later in this same chapter, when the messenger of the kings who are captured by Jarasandha, that comes in this chapter later on, they come to Krishna and the messenger gives Krishna the update that Jarasandha ne ye kiya hai, all these kings are in prison. So then Krishna hears, then Narad Muni comes. As soon as Narad Muni comes, Krishna gets up from his throne, offers obeisances to Narad Muni and greets him. Oh Munivar, you have come, my palace has become auspicious. Please let me know how I can serve you. Again, offering obeisances. We see even when Sudama came, Sudama Brahman came, Krishna gets up, makes him sit, and first thing, washes his feet. So, Krishna is showing by example that offering obeisances, especially to personalities who are senior, but here it's mentioned to everyone, is what we are supposed to follow. Because this chapter shows us things which Krishna does, which we can follow. At least these verses. Then he expands himself into 16,108 forms, leaves the palaces like that, merges into one, enters that. We can't do all that. There was a trend in the middle, multitasking. Everyone should do multitasking. Then everyone realized that we are not meant for multitasking. We are infinite, chintu living beings. So now the trend is coming, unitasking. Focus on one thing. Don't do too many things together. But Krishna, 16,108, merges into one and enters the Sudharma hall. We see from the example of the Goswamis, we chant that verse, Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibi Kalavasani Kritav Nidrahara Vihara Kadi Vijitav Atyanta Dinav Chayav Radha Krishna Madhurima Nandena Sammohito Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibi. So not just chanting Sankhya Purvak, but also offering obeisances. We hear Sanatan Goswami, how many obeisances would he offer every day to Giriraj? 1008. 1008, even in his old age. And finally Mahaprabhu told him, please stop doing this. And gave him that Shila. We hear Raghunath Das Goswami. How many obeisances? Again, 1000 to Krishna and 2000 to the Vaishnavas. Every day. Not monthly, annually, quarterly. Every day. So these are acharyas. They are sent by Mahaprabhu to write scripture, to reveal the holy places. They are showing by their example obeisances. And then what does that lead to? Atyanta Deenau Chayo. Automatically humility will come. When this mood is there, as Krishna is showing by his example, when the mood is there of offering obeisances, the byproduct is the humility comes. And then Radha Krishna Gune Smiti Madhurima Nandena Sammohito. Automatically that humility leads to that. So this is Vaishnav culture. One important aspect of Vaishnav culture is humility, is offering obeisances. It is part of our morning program as given by Prabhupada. In the end we chant Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. So this is very much ingrained as part of Vaishnav culture. There is the it is analyzed that bowing down can be categorized in three ways, three aspects. One is a forced bowing down, the other is an inspired by somebody and then bowing down, and third is just the culture of bowing down, the culture of paying obeisances. The first one, forced bowing down. Once a man came to Srila Prabhupada, little elderly, like maybe in his late 50s. And whenever Prabhupada would sit, his disciples would all sit in front, they would bow down. So this man was sitting at the back. And he said, Swamiji, why is everyone bowing down to you? I don't want to bow down to you. I don't bow down to anybody. And Prabhupada looked at him. Prabhupada was the most unpredictable person. You would never know what answer he would give. And Prabhupada looked at him and said, now you may think like that. But when you grow old, you will be forced to bow down to old age, to disease, and ultimately to death. Like, I am not old. Of course, we never think we are old, but even from age perspective, I'm not very old. But recently I got one, nerve problem in my leg, because of which sitting cross-legged for a long time is difficult at this age. So what to speak of at that time when we grow, if we grow old, and then when we grow old, not that we'll not grow old, if we die before that, we have to bow down to death ultimately. So Prabhupada is telling him that you will anyway have to do. And then the end will not be very glorious. So might as well accept some personalities, accept the Lord and bow down. So this is forced bowing down. We can even see the example of Dhritarashtra in the first canto. When he had health, although he was blind, when things were there, so many people told him, gave him good counsel. Your son is not doing the right thing. Don't be so attached to the kingdom. It is rightfully the Pandavas. Even Krishna himself, when he came and spoke, Dhritarashtra accepted everyone, never said, no, you're wrong, but didn't follow. Finally, when the war happened, he saw so much of death, he saw all his sons died, his own body became completely useless. Then when Vidura came and he preached to him, then he accepted, because he was forced to bow down now. That it's all over anyway, I'm old now. Jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki, SriSriRadhaRasbihariTemple Vishakha ji ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So he was forced to bow down. So we have the choice whether we want to have that kind of forced accepting or voluntary. Of course, we have the good fortune of serving in ISKCON, where it starts with forced, then it becomes inspired, and then it becomes our culture. Bhurijan Prabhu, he says, his realization, he says, by my realization of serving in ISKCON is like you are just like a sugar cane, and you are grinded. And now, like earlier times when they had those machines, they would grind once, remove, squeeze it, again put, remove, squeeze it, again put, till the last drop of sugarcane juice would come out. So he would say, serving here is like that. Till the last ounce of pride is not removed. We are grinded, and we are grinded till we are forced to then accept that I am a servant, I am not significant, I have understood. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, many times, because he was also our GBC, he was also managerially involved. So we would go to him for difficulties, for problems. And invariably, there will be some issues between devotees. Nobody likes their authority. So there'd always be some unnis bees going on. So I remember many times I would go and he would give different answers. Once I went, after that I never went. That answer when I said, Maharaj, this is happening. Just tolerate. Be humble. Tolerate. Then I also just, Maharaj, how long to tolerate? How long to be humble? And then, changed his mood, looked at me and said, I've been doing it for 50 years. Now what will you say after that? And then he would have this box of peda. And then, when that opens, it's time to go now. I've been doing it for 50 years. And that means that if you want to continue in this movement, if you want to grow in this movement, then just tolerate, be humble. And if you want some taste here, take the peda. Take the sweet taste right. Later on, by following this, person becomes a very nice devotee. Then there is sweet taste. But now at this stage, if you want sweet taste, don't think by fighting it will come. Be humble. You want sweet taste, take the peda. Go. I was discussing with His Grace Ramru Prabhu few days ago some issue. And then I asked him, Prabhuji, how is Radha Rasbihari allowing this to happen? And then he said, I have also been thinking about this. I have come to the conclusion that Radha Rasbihari is just allowing these things to happen to test our tolerance, to make us humble. So this is like forced. Like we have to accept it. So better we do it voluntarily. The second type of obeisances is inspired. When we come across an inspiring personality, automatically we feel like bowing down. Like Srila Prabhupada. So nobody will have to tell a devotee, Roz subah Prabhupada ko dhanvat karo. It's very natural. Once, this is written in Bhakti Vikas Maharaj's book, Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhav. Once the king, the Maharaj of Burdwan district in Bengal, he used to go and meet Bhakti Siddhanta. And then he was told, Jaake dandvat karna hai, go and bow down, offer obeisances. So he did it once, he did it twice, he did it thrice. And then he thought one day, hey, I am also Maharaj. He's also Maharaj. So Maharaj, no, I next time I'll not bow down. It's like that boatman and Lord Ram. He's saying, we are colleagues. I will not take money from me, we are colleagues. How are we colleagues? You are boatman. You are also boatman. How? I take people across the Ganga, you take people across the material ocean to the spiritual world. We both are boatmen. So here this Maharaj is thinking, we both are Maharaj. He is Maharaj, King Maharaj. So I will not bow down this time. In his mind he's thinking, I will not bow down. I will not bow down. I will not bow. I will not be disrespectful. I will not bow down. He went inside, opened the room. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was sitting there lecturing. He said, I entered and automatically what happened, I don't know. My feet hit the ground, my head went, I bowed down. And then when I got up, I thought, Hare, nahi karna tha. So later on he came and he narrated that this personality, he commands respect. He doesn't demand respect, he commands respect by his purity, by his words. So this is inspired. When we come in front of inspiring personalities, people who are taking care of our spiritual life, people who are taking care of the temple, even if not directly us, but taking care of things because of which we are able to serve, then if a person is a genuine devotee, automatically we'll feel inspired, we bow down. There's this story of, in San Francisco, in 1967, the devotees had organized this rock concert, Avalon Ballroom. And they had invited all these rock bands. And then Srila Prabhupada in the end spoke and then did kirtan. So many of these rock personalities, they got inspired by Prabhupada. One of them were the Hell's Angels. Naam hi sound karta hai ki these are tough personalities. Hell's Angels. So they used to wear all these leather jackets, leather shoes. They used to have all these chains in their hands, chains on their pants, and heavy bikers. So once in the temple in San Francisco, small temple, storefront, they used to all come in bikes, these Hell's Angels, one after the other, dum dum dum. Those अपने यहाँ पे जो अपना स्प्लेंडर का वो साइलेंसर फाड़ देते हैं ना और भ्रम 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 करते हैं. But the genuine, those Harley Davidsons and all that, so they, one after the other, 10-15 bikes came, parked in front of the San Francisco temple. And all these guys now when you have all these chains on your body, When you walk, it makes a sound. Makes a sound. Like we see in that Mahabharat serial, all these courtiers, when they are walking, that chan chan chan, that noise is coming. And they walked in, and these devotees are thinking, abhi ye log kya karne wale hain? And then somehow it so happened, Prabhupada ended Kirtan and started Jayadhwani. So all the devotees bowed down, and they heard one after the other. All these hell's angels, big, great personalities with chains everywhere, thuk, one after the other, bowing down, bowing down, bowing down, bowing down, bowing down to Prabhupada. So this is inspired. When we come across these great personalities, we bow down. And the third is the culture of bowing down, which may not be forced, because now we know we are supposed to pay obeisances. It may not be inspired. We may not be inspired. Of course, those great personalities or our senior devotees, but even others. But then we are taught, it's our Vaishnav culture, offering obeisances. Krishna is showing by example in this chapter. Once Garga Muni Prabhu went to Prabhupada and he said, Srila Prabhupada, I love you, but I don't feel like bowing down. All these devotees are bowing. I don't feel like bowing down. Prabhupada told him, even if you don't feel like bowing down, you still bow down. After some time of doing that, you will feel like bowing down. तब तक करते रहो और फिर अंदर से आएगा. So this is the culture. We are told, no? People say we should be grounded. We should stay grounded. Just when was the voting? 3-4 days back. So in the Monday, 20th. Next day in the news it had come that Mukesh Ambani, when he was coming out of the voting booth, he had his Aadhaar card in a normal plastic bag and he was walking. And people were appreciating. Look at the simplicity. Look at the humility, you know. Richest man, एक plastic bag में अपना चीजें लेके जा रहा है. So this quality is actually appreciated by people. People feel attracted to this. When a person is genuinely humble. So we may not, at least I am not at all humble, but we can learn from this, that this is our culture. So we regularly should do it. And then maybe after a while of doing this and performing our services, naturally that humility will come. So Prabhupada told Garga Muni Prabhu, just keep doing it. After a while, you'll feel like doing it. We also see in the example of Srila Rupa Goswami. So when Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the first time at Ramkeli. We know they, with straw in their mouth, they fell flat, offering obeisances and then saying, we are so fallen, you are Patit Pavan, so we are first in line to get your mercy. And Mahaprabhu was pleased by their this act. They were great personalities. You know, finance minister, prime minister, not ordinary people. Like when our Atal Bihari Vajpayee, when he was the Prime Minister, when he opened the Delhi temple, he gave a speech in which he wonderfully glorified Prabhupada. And people appreciate it. Prime Minister agar kiske baare mein bol raha hai aisa, that means that personality is really very great. So here the Prime Minister, Finance Minister are falling flat to Mahaprabhu. And this same Mahaprabhu who says, Trinadapi Sunichana, is telling them, bas, get up. You're enough of your humility. He said, Aji tomar naam Rupa Sanatan, denya chhadi, tomar denya phate mora man. That your humility is breaking my heart. Now you please get up. So this humility of that Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami genuinely had, that led then to the second meeting of Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami at Prayagraj, Dashashwamedh Ghat, where Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami. You know, he gave him all the instructions based on which the nectar of devotion is written. And then the third meeting, when it happened in Puri, at that time Mahaprabhu empowered Rupa Goswami. We know that in Rath Yatra time, Mahaprabhu, when he went into ecstasy, he recited this one verse which to everyone sounded odd. A boy and a girl in separation, but I'm meeting you now. But I remember the Reva river, and those trees. I'm remembering that time when we met in the night. What sannyasi? What is Mahaprabhu saying? And then Mahaprabhu, when he went back, he saw on his hut, on top, on Rupa Goswami's hut, there was a verse written in which Rupa Goswami actually decoded this this shloka of Mahaprabhu, where he's saying, that the interaction of Radharani and Krishna at Kurukshetra. And then Mahaprabhu said, how does Rupa Goswami know my mind? How did he understand this? And then Swarup Damodar Goswami said, Lord, you have only empowered him. Otherwise, who can know you? You have empowered him. You have given him, based on which he has Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam. He has understood you. So, humility led to then empowerment. When the Lord saw the Dainya Bhav of Rupa and Sanatan, He empowered them. So similarly, when the spiritual master sees, when Prabhupada sees that a devotee has genuinely understood this, then those devotees are used to do great things. We can in fact see in the life of Srila Prabhupada himself. In that poem, Markine Bhagavata Dharma, he signs it off as the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. And he's not just writing it, like we say, no, I'm most fallen, I'm most fallen. At least not we, I. All of you are maybe genuine, but I'm most fallen, I'm most fallen, I'm most fallen. If someone else says you're so fallen, we feel offended, eh? So Prabhupada is genuinely writing. We see that even during Bhaktisiddhanta's time, Srila Prabhupada was actually one of the most qualified amongst his god brothers. He was perfect in English. He had a degree, although he didn't accept it, but he was educated. He could speak very well. He could speak philosophy very well. He could preach as per the audience. And he could manage. He was managing his own business. He could manage the affairs of the mutt also. So that way actually he was in one sense more qualified than even some of the sannyasis. But Prabhupada always kept that humble position. Never would come in front. Never would want to come in the limelight. In fact, here Prabhupada helped build this Gaudiya Mutt, which is there in PKC. Actually, that time it was in Grant. Now it's in BKC. So when it was in Grant Road, so Prabhupada helped with money. Prabhupada helped with organizing programs. That is just here, but even in many places, in Allahabad. And the disciples told Bhaktisiddhanta, why don't we make him the head? Let's make him the president. Let's let him, he's doing everything anyway. Without position, he's still doing everything and then he's always in the background. Bhaktisiddhanta said, no, the time will come when he will do everything. So, the genuine humility, Prabhupada knew so many verses. Prabhupada knew the art of how to preach to the people at the right time. He could manage, he could collect funds, everything he could do. But he was not proud about it. And then later on, Prabhupada did everything. We know this wonderful story of the book that Prabhupada wrote, which is from a chapter of the 10th canto. Prabhupada titled it Light of the Bhagavat, which is the autumn of Vrindavan is described in. So Prabhupada had the opportunity to go to Japan. Just an invitation. Not even an invitation actually. Prabhupada saw World Religion Congress is there in Japan. And Prabhupada thought, here is an opportunity to preach. And he wrote to the organizers that I am a sannyasi in the Gaudiya Vaishnava line and I would like to come and present the teachings of Lord Chaitanya in this World Religious Congress. And a reply also came back that yes, please come, but you need to arrange your visa and arrange your ticket. And over here in Japan, we will take care of you. We will receive you, we will arrange your lodging, we will take care of everything. But aana aapko hai. Now Prabhupada, with just that much, Prabhupada wrote the translation and commentary of that chapter of the Bhagavatam, the description of autumn in Vrindavan. Because Japanese people are fond of nature. Japanese gardens are very famous. Around the world, they make gardens, they call it Japanese gardens, based on how the gardens are in Japan. And so Prabhupada is writing. And how many of you have read that book or that from the Bhagavatam? That's very, very nice. Different aspects of nature are compared to different ways in which we are conducting our life. So Prabhupada wrote the whole book. And there is no sponsor for the ticket. And the government is refusing the P form by which he could go. Prabhupada even wrote to the President of India that please, I have got this opportunity to preach Sanatan Dharma, which is our religion. Please give me this visa so that I can go there. And also please arrange for my going there. No reply. Prabhupada went to various rich people. Please allow me to present this in Japan. Allow me to go, give me some money to buy a ticket. Nobody agreed. Everywhere Srila Prabhupada went, he was just rejected. And still he was continuing to write that chapter. Not like, aane do pehle sab, fir main likhunga. Wrote it. And in the end, the reply, then Prabhupada wrote to the organizer in Japan. देखो ये लोग मुझे help नहीं कर रहे, आप ticket दे दो. Later on, somewhere you will get repaid. You allow me to come. Because the message which I have to preach will make your World Religious Congress successful. In the end, that person wrote back, sorry Swamiji, we would love for you to come, but we cannot pay. And then in Leelamrit Satswarup Maharaj writes, and then it was just a dream. It was, Prabhupada left it. But we see this was in 1960, 61, exactly 10 years later. That time Prabhupada was trying to just print one chapter into a book. But things didn't work out. In 1970, Prabhupada wrote the whole Krishna book. All 90 chapters. Usme wo bhi tha. Whatever he wrote at that time, that was also there. And all the other chapters. And he found a financier. Who was the financier of the Krishna book? George Harrison. And who was the printer? Dai Nippon. At that time, the best printers in the world. So Prabhupada tried to go to Tokyo in 1960, tried to print one chapter of Krishna book. It didn't happen. 10 years later, Krishna empowered Prabhupada. Whole Krishna book, financed by the biggest rock star in the world, who also wrote a foreword, where in the end it says, all you need is love, bracket Krishna. Signed George Harrison. Devotees would show that forward and distribute the book. George Harrison is reading this book, you also read. George Harrison is reading, I'll also buy. So maybe Krishna was thinking, I don't want, piecemeal mein printing. I don't want some, Delhi printer to print. I want best quality printing. Mere baare mein bata rahe hain. So empowerment. When we don't give up, but we maintain this attitude, offering obeisances, developing this genuine mood of humility, empowerment takes place. At many places, Srila Prabhupada was asked this question, that what does it mean to be humble? Then Prabhupada would give various answers. There are two answers which seem to be contradictory, which strike out. One time Prabhupada was asked, what does it mean to be humble? Prabhupada replied, humility means not to be anxious for getting prestige, honor by others. So not to be anxious to seek honor or to seek prestige or to seek praise from others. Prabhupada showed in his own example, whenever Prabhupada was told, Prabhupada, this wonderful thing you have achieved, this temple in Vrindavan is open, or this, that, Prabhupada would say, it's all the mercy of my spiritual master. All of you have been sent by my spiritual master. And all of this is possible because of the mercy of my spiritual master. So Prabhupada was showing this, not anxious for praise. At the same time, once Prabhupada was asked, Prabhupada, what is the definition to be humble? And Prabhupada said, to be humble means to do bold things for Krishna. To be humble means to do bold things for Krishna. How is this? Prabhupada showed with his example. There is one very nice pastime which happened here only in Bombay. When Yashomati Nandan Prabhu, he had brought his old mother. His mother was very elderly, like maybe in her 80s and all. Like very cultured Gujarati lady. So with her head covered, very elderly person. She came and so Yashomati Nandan Prabhu brought her. So Prabhupada immediately, please come to my room. They sat. And then after some time, these two sannyasis came from some different sect. They came and in their sect, they don't even look at women. If they look at a woman, they feel that they have to do some prayashchit. So they went into Prabhupada's room and they saw that there's a woman there, elderly. Immediately they came out, feeling disturbed. They're standing there like that. And then Prabhupada met Yashomati Nandan Prabhu's mother, spent time, went out. Then the disciples called these two sannyasis inside. And Prabhupada knew that, they are from that sect and they, so Prabhupada is justifying to them. Prabhupada is saying, actually, he is a very important disciple of mine. So he had brought his elderly mother. She is 80 plus years old. Otherwise, I also don't meet anyone alone. I had my sannyasi disciples here with me. I had so many, with me at that time. And then I met. Prabhupada is justifying to them that, although there was a lady in my room, she was elderly, she was with a very important disciple who was her son, and all these other people were, my disciples were also there, male disciples. Otherwise, I don't meet women alone, Prabhupada is saying. So, as if Prabhupada had to justify. And then Prabhupada starts conversing with them. So here Prabhupada is showing, he's taking a very humble position, justifying. And then Prabhupada asked them, so I have heard, according to you, who is God? They said, this Swami, this is God. Prabhupada said, Acha, where in Bhagavatam is it mentioned that this Swami, this is God? I have read in Bhagavatam, Narsimha, Varaha, Vamana, Krishna. Where is this person's name? They said, it is there in this so-and-so book. Well, Acha, which book is this? Is it in the Vedas? Is it written by Vyasdev, this book? He said, no, this person himself has written this book. So they said, Acha, who is this person? Which parampara is he in? One of these four paramparas. Kahan hai unka naam? They started to, fidget around and all. And then they said, and Prabhupada said, this is all nonsense. It is not mentioned anywhere. All incarnations are mentioned. All great personalities are in parampara. What are you following? They said, Swamiji, we have to go now. Then they bowed down and they left. So in one pastime, Prabhupada is showing both these aspects of humility. When it was to him, he accepted the humble position and was justifying. Although he didn't have to, but he was justifying it. But my student's mother, elderly person, all my male disciples were there. Otherwise, I don't meet alone. But when it came to the philosophy, then humility is not, acha theek hai, aapke bhagwan bhi bhagwan, hamare bhagwan bhi bhagwan, sab kuch nahi. At that time, Prabhupada is boldly preaching, establishing that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and not this Swami and not this avatar and not all those things. Shrutakirti Prabhu in his book, he narrates one incident when Prabhupada was sick. I think it was in Vrindavan during the temple opening. Prabhupada was sick at that time. So he says that because Prabhupada was so sick, I would lie down next to his bed on the floor. And so Prabhupada would sleep on the bed and Shrutakirti Prabhu would be on the floor right next to him. So that anything Prabhupada needs, he can get it. Prabhupada doesn't even have to reach for the bell. Once Shrutakirti Prabhu said, I was sleeping like that and this, horrendous sound came of a cane falling and then thud. And I got up, I opened my eyes to my horror, Prabhupada was lying next to me. I immediately got up. Srila Prabhupada, what happened? I lifted him up with my hands, placed him on the bed. And Prabhupada said, actually I was trying to go to the washroom, to a bathroom. But Prabhupada, I'm here for that only, you should have woken me up. No, you do so many services whole day. You were tired, I didn't want to disturb you. Shrutakirti Prabhu said, Prabhupada, this is my service, this is my life. What am I there for otherwise? He said, this happened once. But he said like this, Prabhupada would show humility so many times. Although he was world Acharya, savior of the whole world. Whenever Prabhupada would want something, he would ask, can I get this? Shuddhagiri Prabhu writes. He would many times say, can I get one more chapati? Can I get one more chapati? When it would be time for the morning walk, all his leading disciples would come. Prabhupada would say, can we go now? He's saying Prabhupada would show on the Vyasasana, he would roar like a lion. When people would challenge, he would roar like a lion. Prabhupada says, no, the heart of a Bengali mother and the courage of an Englishman. Or lion outside and lamb at home. Prabhupada showed by his own personal example. So that time he would roar. And with his disciples, then, once there's this story that somewhere, I think in England or in France, all these devotees were standing in line to offer something to Prabhupada. So this one Mataji had hand knitted a sweater and she gave it to her husband. Prabhupada ko pehnao. And so he is also standing in line. 2 places above here, before him, there was this one, I think sannyasi. And he had bought this very nice, pashmina sweater, very opulent looking. And so this Mataji thought, Abhi wo Prabhupada he will offer this to Prabhupada in front of that. What is my sweater? It is hand knitted. What value it has? So the sannyasi offered to Prabhupada. Prabhupada wore it. Someone came with a rose. And then her husband came offering this hand knitted sweater. Prabhupada immediately removed that expensive sweater, gave it to her husband, took that sweater, wore it. And then Mataji writes, for the rest of that program, he wore that sweater. So there is no shortage of examples for us to try and cultivate this mood of humility. Krishna is himself showing by his example. Prabhupada has shown unlimited ways in which we can get inspired to be humble. Ultimately, as Zonis Gopal Krishna Maharaj said, I have been doing it for 50 years. Just do it. So I am telling myself that life is short. We're growing. Outsiders, they measure their life by New Year to New Year or birthday to birthday. For us, it's like, अरे अभी रामनवमी गया, वापस रामनवमी आ गया. अरे अभी तो रथ यात्रा आया था, वापस रथ यात्रा. Time is flying. So let's make the most of this wonderful association that we have. By the mercy of Prabhupada, we are in this wonderful organization, have this wonderful Sangha of devotees. Let's try and cultivate this mood of humility. Let's take this culture of offering obeisances. And in this way, by regularly bowing down, this mood of humility will come. And then life will be perfect. We'll get empowered to do wonderful, bold things for Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Any comments, corrections?
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Very nice class. There is a joke. Even a king has to bow down in front of a barber.
Yes.
Like that. So, Srila Prabhupada writes in Bhakti Rasam Sindhu that a person may perform 10 Ashwamedha Yajnas, which is very, very, very difficult to perform. What Yudhishthira Maharaj performed Ashwamedha Yajna, that was the last one. After that, nobody could perform Ashwamedha Yajna. Somebody may perform, there is a chance that if somebody performs 10 Ashwamedha Yajnas, still he may take birth in the womb, he may enter the womb. But anybody who comes and offers respectful obeisances in front of Radha and Krishna deities, there is no chance that he will enter the womb of a mother again. So that was the greatest contribution of Srila Prabhupada in our lives. Otherwise, before coming to ISKCON, I don't remember any time offering obeisance to the deities. So actually nowadays I see when once Prabhupada was doing Jayadvani, and then he saw some Indians standing Then he shouted, bow down, bow down, bow down. Now, devotees, they don't bow down during Jayadvani and all. So that bowing down is very important. And then regarding one more definition of humility Srila Prabhupada gave. I don't remember the exact verbatim, but the meaning of gist of that statement is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is all perfect, and then somebody who is doing service, he should not think I have done perfectly service, I have done service perfectly. So the desire to become more and more perfect, that is humility purpose. That is also one more. One more thing you forgot to mention. Actually, when Krishna has gone as a Shanti Duta, there was a meeting of Dushta Chatushtayam. The Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karna and Shakuni. Then they have decided.
What are they called?
Huh?
What are they called?
Dushta Chatushtayam. In Telugu we call. So they had a meeting and said, tomorrow when this Vala enters Rajya Sabha, we will not offer obeisances. They have decided. But as soon as Krishna entered, Duryodhana had to bow down. Like that. So, yeah, very nicely you explained. Bowing down is very important. Then once Srila Prabhupada, he saw the Jagannath Rath Yatra is about to start, and then it was on the road, and then the road was dirty. Srila Prabhupada came and then offered full Dandavat Pranam. Then Prabhupada, your clothes will become spoiled. If I don't offer obeisances, you also will not offer. As soon as Prabhupada said, like this Shrutakirti only, I think there is a pastime. Because there is a system where whenever you come in front of the deity, Prabhupada and the deity, you have to offer obeisance. So he would come, offer chapati, then offer obeisances, and then run back. And then every time, sometimes Prabhupada would take 5, 6, 10 chapatis, then he would do like this half. Prabhupada said, what is this nonsense? So like that, Prabhupada taught, you have to offer obeisances. So that is why whenever we see the deity or Guru, one should fall down like that. So that was, it's very interesting.
Thank you so much for your wonderful comments, and coming from the head pujari of the temple, saying that by thanks to Prabhupada now we have learned to pay obeisances. Earlier we were not. So wonderful realization. Thank you so much. Whenever we Mataji wants to. Whenever we hear Ramru Prabhu's class, it's guaranteed we will hear about Prabhupada. There will be pastimes about Prabhupada. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful class and nice quotes on humility. But like His Grace Ramru Prabhuji said, this was the humility quote that I know of also, which says humility means that you are convinced beyond any doubt that there is nothing in this world, absolutely nothing in this world, not your money, not your family, not your fame, not your gun, not your education, nothing that will save you except the mercy of Krishna. That was a quote that even I thought Prabhuji quoted.
Thank you, Mataji. That was actually there in my notes. I forgot to say it.
Okay,
but thank you for bringing it up.
That was the only humility quote that we knew of. Thank you for sharing the other quotes.
Hari Vilas Prabhu mentions this.
That's right. That's right.
He asked Prabhupada and then Prabhupada.
That's right.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande, Haripol.